Welcome to the Peace Place. This is Judy. I'm the penman of Prayoms and founder of the Peace Movement. And today I bring you a thought provoking word that's called terror in error. It is in the form of what is now known as a prayom. It is a prayer, it's the cry of my heart to a holy God and the only one that knows all the answers. And it is in poetry form. And I bring it to you today, inviting you to engage with me on a journey where our lives can be led by a God who knows it all, a God whose agendas are good, and a God with a plan for each one of us and how we fit into the big picture, following the story that He has written for each of our lives. So today, I bring you terror and error. God, embrace us and make us peace filled and useful. Separate us from all fear and that which is abuseful. Remind us to lean in to the power of your word. Secure your armor and wisdom, sorting what's heard. Heard through the terror we sometimes feel in our hearts. God, we desperately need your peace for our part, the part we fill as we learn of strategies to divide, how to identify deceptive lies, and teach us to abide. Only you know the agendas and where they hide out. Only you hold all truth. Help us listen rather than shout. Shout out hollow words representing the ploys to divide us even further. Help us sort the noise. You answer with wisdom as we call out to you. None other, no faction can bring peace like you do, your peace. As we seek you, you knowingly release, and we all begin to listen. All the division will cease. As we focus our minds on you and walk wisely about, while guarding our hearts, watching terror push and shout, reveal what agendas and who is stirring the pot. God, we so need you to expose and restore all that's not your agenda and way. As mankind in our own power, we do not have the capacity to know the solutions that will bring us each into the fullness of the love of God. God desires that not one perish, but all come to know his love. And we can learn how to do that. It doesn't matter how old we are or what our background is or what we have done. This God of love will draw us into a place that we can be useful vessels to bring the peace that passes all understanding rather than be part of the division that is here to kill, steal, and destroy. Yes, we get to choose each day. We can choose life, or we can choose life or death, and we can choose abundant life. Having walked both parts of that selection over life, I am here to tell you that the place of peace that passes all understanding is so much more fruitful. It's so much more powerful. Our steps can be ordered by the creative God of the universe. God can do because he sees everything that's needed, and he says that when we call on him, he does answer us, and he does show us great and mighty things. So we're not victims of all the agendas that are out there. We do not have to engage in agendas that are divisive, and we can know as we're filled and led by the Spirit of God, we can know what's truth and what's not truth. You know, we have that knowing part inside of us deep into We call it intuition. We call it a gut feeling. But there's a way that you can walk being filled with and led by the Spirit of God, who knows everything about everything all the time. So there's nothing hidden from this mighty God. There's no deception or agenda that's bigger than this mighty God. And that the way God's plan is, as far as I understand it, it's that each of us find that place in his master plan to discover his love and his power. Or the other choice is we can be part of the deception and the division that we see pulling us in every direction today. We do not have to do that. We can walk a straight and narrow path. We can learn how to do that because most of us have learned to live in the isolation of our minds, and our minds most of the time don't have many loving solutions. And so you can learn to do that. It's an amazing journey. It's an amazing walk. It doesn't mean everything's hunky-dory all the time, but what it does mean is when we get in those deep, dark places, we have a God of love that we can call on. His hand reaches out to us, his arms embrace us, and will guide every step that we take. That's a choice that we have. It's not the agenda of the world. It's agenda of a God who created it all. He says that we can call on him and he will answer us. So we can ask him to embrace us and correct us and guide us and teach us. And he is faithful to do those things. Only God knows all the agendas that are out there. There's no amount of research that we can do that we can see all that resides in the hearts and the influences out there, but there's a God who's greater than it all. There's a God who can see it all, and there's a God that's willing to guide us through it all, and that we can fulfill and be fruitful vessels of love on the earth today. So if you're interested in any part of what we're doing here, it's a discovering, it's an uncovering, it's a discovering, and it's an experiencing a God of love of the universe that is still all powerful, that is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And in that process, we will learn a lot about how we've learned to just walk, kind of like sleepwalk through life, unaware of the truth of the power that can live within us and guide every step that we take. If you're interested in that, you're welcome to subscribe on our YouTube channel here. You can tell other people about us. You can find us at prayoms.com. That's PRAYOEMS.com. You can find us at the Peace Movement. It's .com. It's the place of perfect peace, not all the other peace movements that are listed. It's a pathway to be able to be a vessel of that perfect peace on the earth. So this is Judy inviting you to be part of solutions rather than agendas to divide. I wish you peace, love, and joy today in your life. And this is Judy signing off for today.